Hello everyone, it's Chris the Batman Statue Collector, your Dark Knight of Collecting, and I just got back from seeing the Joker movie. And I wanted to give you my initial thoughts, my reaction, my review to this film. I am emotionally and mentally exhausted from this film. I was already nervous to go see this film for lots of different reasons, and I'll get into that in a minute. But let's go all the way to April. Okay, so let's wind the clock back a little bit. April was when the trailer hit, and I can tell you that I've never experienced a trailer that I reacted to in that way. Instant goosebumps, just this guttural, like holy crap, this film is insane. From visuals to the cinematic score to everything about that trailer I loved. And I was incredibly excited about it. As we move on to the summer, you know, I hadn't heard too much about it, other than it had kind of a buzz to it. Then we get into the movie festival season. Venice, obviously, the Joker movie got incredible praise. And also at that same time, even though people were starting to say Oscar for the performance by Joaquin Phoenix, people also started being a little bit concerned about this movie, about the violence, about it possibly being a reflection of what's going on in society. Also, you know, it possibly encouraging others with mental health issues to do some of the things that the Joker is doing in this film. There is a lot of concern. There's a lot of stories online where there's going to be police officers, undercover police people, FBI or whatever involved to make sure that these theaters are safe. I'm going to be 100% honest. Going into the theater today, I was worried. I was worried that something might happen. I do worry that something could happen still. And that's scary. But I'm glad I went. Things that scare us, things that make us nervous, those things we have to push through. We have to keep living our lives. So don't let fear of the unknown, don't let that ever stop you from living your life. This film is incredibly dark. It's incredibly gritty. It is one of the most beautifully shot films that I've ever seen. Joaquin Phoenix, incredible portrayal, whether it's as Arthur Fleck or as the Joker. He is not the Joker very much in this film. He is mostly Arthur, and it is a character study in the same vein as like Taxi Driver, some of those films. Robert De Niro, of course, is in this movie. Again, I'm just emotionally drained from this film. It has hit me hard. It was pretty much exactly like I thought it would be. The thing that catches my attention first is just the visuals. Every visual reminds me of like Christopher Nolan when he used the IMAX cameras, and everything was just so incredibly cinematic. Almost every shot of this film feels that way to me. It almost feels like it was shot that way. Like everyone looks like a still, like it could be a publicity photo or something. Unbelievably good. Lighting, there was little effects on the screen. So like, it would just be a regular shot, but there would be like this black flicker on the screen. So just very subtle things to give it this feeling, this depth. There are a lot of things about the trailer that do give things away in the film. But there's also things in the film that we believe are going to happen, and they don't necessarily happen in the way we think. So I do appreciate that very much. Some of the music really inspired me in this film. Like, not only did kind of like 80s pop culture music kind of play here and there, but just the score, I really thought in the trailer they have that same music over and over again, and that was used very little in this film. The deep tones of the instruments, It almost had that Jaws feel with the real low sounds. And it's creepy as hell. Every scene, you could just feel build. You could feel it build, and there's anxiety. So I'm in the theater. I'm already nervous to be in the theater, worried about something in society, in our society, will happen. But then I'm sitting there, and the music and the imagery, as Arthur slowly dives into madness and, you know, getting to his breaking point, was very effective. Very effective. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about how they built from start to finish in this film. There were a few times, I'm going to be honest, there were a few times where I felt like it got a little tiny bit slow. But I do feel, and I'm going to give it to you right now, I do feel like this is like a 9.7 out of 10 for me. It was incredibly good. Now, a big critique of this film was from the comic book fans, the comic book community, that, you know, maybe this film was just a film. It wasn't even really a Batman film. It wasn't really even a Joker film because they didn't take it directly from the comics. Now, I will beg to differ in some ways. Arthur Fleck. There's never been an Arthur Fleck. Joker's never been Arthur Fleck before. But I will say this, and I've said it before, Joker has a million different origin stories. We never know exactly who he is. This film sets up the possibility of a Joker and who he is. Is it Arthur Fleck? Well, if you guys know anything, again, this is a little bit of a spoiler. So again, don't watch it if you don't want to hear anything. But in the trailer, we see a young Bruce Wayne. And Arthur Fleck is way older than Bruce Wayne. So will Arthur Fleck, as the Joker, be the actual Joker that we see eventually? In my opinion, probably not. Is he somebody that's going to maybe influence the Joker in the future? Or influence the person becoming the Joker in the future? Abso-freaking-lutely. Which I love. There are small nods to the comics. As you get to the end, bigger nods to the comics that are going to set up future films. Whether it's exactly what we end up getting, I don't know. It makes sense. It's smartly done. Todd Phillips, a man known for comedy. There was nothing funny about this film. Now, I will say I'm going to take that back. There were a few scenes that it was so intense, but then they threw a little bit of mini comedy in there, which I appreciated. It broke the tension just slightly. Again, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about the scenes that I just witnessed. The score, again, I'm going to go back to that. Just the build to the finale. The finale was very well done. You know, you can sense that once he becomes the Joker, and again, he's not the Joker very long, but in those scenes, visually, a lot of impact. You know that he is finally at his breaking point. You know what he is going to do. It was just well done. It was very well done. When it comes to the fears of this film, of it inspiring others with mental health, I do still worry about this film. I am a counselor in my real life, my profession, and I've stated that before. So I deal with kids with mental health, and I see it every day. I see it increasing. I see a lack of parent involvement in kids' lives. I see a lack or a disconnect with families. So as a society, we have a problem. I see it every day. I don't know what's going to fix it. I feel like family and love and support for one another, funding, all of that is really important. I feel like that is what is going to change the way things are right now. But that will take time and money, and also leaders that are willing to realize how important all that is. So, does this film glorify the Joker? Does it glorify and justify his actions? The director has come out and said that no, it's more of a reflection on society. You don't really want to root for Arthur. But throughout the entire film, we see exactly what he's going through. We see why he becomes what he becomes. He is trashed on his entire life. Everything is negative. Even when he thinks something good in his life is happening, it's negative. And so you do feel sorry for him. You do feel sorry for him. You feel like society has let him down. So in one hand, I do say that, yes, it does reflect on society and the problems that we have. And maybe it'll be a wake-up call to say, you know what, we need to help people like Arthur. I'm hoping that's the case. I do also, on the other side of things, I do see people siding with the Joker and his actions, and that does scare me. And again, I'm just being honest here. I hate to take it down, but this movie's heavy. The content is heavy. Comic book fans will still enjoy this film. I, as a Batman fan, did. You watch it and you forget it's Batman. We don't ever see a Batman. This takes place in the early 80s. We do see Thomas Wayne. We see young Bruce Wayne. We see Martha Wayne. But you forget until they say something about Gotham on the news, or you see a headline about Gotham. You forget that it's Gotham. It's a very different comic book feel, very dark and edgy. I appreciate that as a DC fan, as a Batman fan. I like the grim, dark detective stories, and I'm very excited about the Batman film that's going to be coming out within the next year or so. I've heard it's kind of more like Arkham Asylum-ish, or The Long Halloween. I love that. I cannot wait for that film. I feel like this film is going to set up other films, whether it is a direct sequel type thing, or if it's just a standalone. They call it a standalone. There won't be a Joker 2. I mean, at least I don't think. But I feel like the world they created will set up the future films. This film is going to do very well. People are going to very much love it. I do, again, feel like it could inspire, but there's lots of things in society that inspire people to do bad things. Again, my recommendation is always show the people around you that you care about them. Get them the help they need. Don't give up on anyone, because people need you. People feel alone. And Arthur felt alone very much in this film. He had hopes and dreams and fantasies just like anybody else, and society did let him down over and over and over again. There's more I want to say on that, but I'm not going to because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But those are my initial thoughts. This film, some people have said masterpiece. I think it's pretty damn close. Should Joaquin Phoenix get an Oscar? Yes. There were times where you could see so much incredible toil and emotion from him. It was a joy to watch him. It was unnerving to watch him. The places he went, to the darkness he went in this film. He's an incredible actor. I've loved him in everything I've seen. There's a lot of films I haven't seen, but I'm going to go back and watch him now because he is incredible. I want you to go see this film. I want you to let me know in the comments down below if you plan on seeing it. Again, if you've already seen it, please don't leave any spoilers down in the comments. Just let me know if you liked it, what you would rank it. Again, please don't spoil it for anybody else. And I hope I haven't spoiled too much for you guys. I think most of the things I talked about you could see in the trailers or read online. Gosh, it was a good film. Very, very good. Okay, I know you're going to ask this question. Does it beat out Heath Ledger? Very different Jokers. Does it beat out Jack Nicholson? To me, Arthur is third place. Heath is still my number one. Nicholson number two. Arthur Fleck number three. And the reason is, if he had been Joker the whole film, or most of the film, I might feel differently. Because as the Joker, he was terrifying, incredibly creepy looking. But this movie was about Arthur. It's called Joker. Should have been called Arthur, because that's what this film is about. It is his journey into madness, his journey into society letting him down. So does he beat Heath Ledger for me? No. Heath Ledger is my number one still. I was not really in doubt, but he is by far up there. He is fantastic. He is memorable. He is so good. Jared Leto who? That's what I'm going to say. Just incredible performance. I hope he wins the Oscar. He deserves it. The movie deserves Oscars. Just for the cinematography, my God, it was a beautiful film. The score was intense and creepy and had me on my edge of my seat. And again, I was nervous. I was nervous to see this film. I'm glad I saw it. You should go see it too. Don't be afraid of it. Go see it. Enjoy it. Go get a big popcorn, because it is a really good flick. Again, let me know down below what you thought. Again, don't spoil it for anybody, please. If you enjoyed this content, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, click that notification bell. It does help you notify you every single time that I do upload new content. And I really appreciate that very much. So anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in this Batcave. Still work in progress, but it's here. Bye, guys.